and the Capital Ready version 3.0. The flyers, obviously, same format, same template. There's only a couple subtle differences between the two of these. And frankly, I'm hesitant to even talk to all of you about the Capital Ready Package 3.0 because it'll be too much too soon for some of you. But let's first talk about the difference between Access to Capital and Capital Ready Package, and then we'll talk about what makes it 3.0 versus 2.0. Okay, so in both cases, for the Access to Capital program, which has no upfront cost, we start with the 4-week education and loan packaging sequence. We guarantee $100,000 capital raise. Capital Ready Package starts with the 4-week financial literacy loan packaging process. We guarantee $100,000 capital raise. That's the same, isn't it? There's not a difference in that element. In the Access to Capital, we defer. In other words, we wait. We don't collect $2,500, the deposit, from the client until after the first capital raise. So Access to Capital has a $2,500 deposit, yes, but we don't collect it until after the first capital raise. The Capital Ready Package 3.0 also has a $2,500 refundable deposit. So both are the same amounts. Both are refundable after the client hits at least 100,000 capital raise. But the difference is with Capital Ready, we collect it up front. So Access to Capital, we defer, we don't collect, we don't invoice, we don't ask the client to pay the deposit until after their first capital raise. The Capital Ready Package 3.0, just like 2.0, we collect it up front. Now, technically, you collect it up front. You collect the $2,500, you keep half, you submit half in. So let's start to dig a little deeper. Well, why would a client ever want to pay money up front if they had the option to wait until after the capital raise? Well, there's a couple answers to that question. Some of you have been very successful enrolling clients in the Capital Ready Package 2.0 previously, collecting the $2,500, keeping half, submitting half. So that's advantageous to you, isn't it? Because you're depositing $2,500 into your business bank statement. That looks good, and you've got a 50% profit margin. In other words, you're keeping $1,250. You have that immediately versus waiting for the client to have their first capital raise to generate revenue off of the deposit. So the first benefit of the Capital Ready Package is you get paid immediately. Now, you'd say, well, that doesn't seem fair to the client. Well, now with 3.0, we're adding some extra perks. So the client might be very well motivated to go ahead and submit the deposit now and enroll in Capital Ready 3.0 rather than waiting till later. So specifically, what's changed in going from 2.0 to 3.0 is real simple. We've included credit boost and we've included the commercial address. So if they're in Access to Capital, do they have a $2,500 refundable deposit up front? Nope, they don't pay it until their first capital raise. Is credit boost included for free? No. Is the commercial address included for free? No. Now I realize not everyone will need credit boost, not everyone will need a commercial address. But with Capital Ready 3.0, do they pay $2,500 up front? Yes, you collect it. You keep half, you submit half to us. Is credit boost included at no additional charge? Yes, it is. Is the commercial address included at no additional charge? Yes, it is. Well, why are those big deals? Let's address each. With credit boost, which is highlighted, I'll make this larger so we can see down here. With credit boost, and you're probably familiar with it, it's our 30 to 60 day plan to normally add about 100 points to personal credit. So with that being said, they may not need a credit boost. They may not want a credit boost, but a lot of entrepreneurs has damaged credit. So that's very attractive. And so instead of them paying $10 per point of credit score improvement, which of course is 50-50 shared with you, our joint venture incubator partners. It's included at no additional cost. So they're saving about $1,000 if they choose to enroll in the Capital Ready 3.0 rather than doing the access to capital and doing that a la carte later. Secondly, and maybe more significantly, is the commercial address is included in Capital Ready 3.0. That is a $500 value, because normally what do we charge? $499.99 if they pay for the commercial address up front. We 50-50 split that with you, or they can do monthly pay, $100 a month. Obviously over 12 months is $1,200, 50-50 split, $600 to you. So this value is anywhere, I guess you could say, from $500 to $1,200. They're getting these two perks free. They're not paying anything more to go into the Capital Ready package 3.0. They're paying the same deposit that everyone will pay in the access to capital. It's just the access to capital, we defer that until after the first capital raise, whereby the Capital Ready package, they say, oh, go ahead and pay that up front. I want to get that out of the way. I like those additional perks. So with that being said, I think for most of you, this is unneeded information, because there's a small number of you that are really good sales professionals. And those of you that are, we see that you've been selling the Capital Ready package on a regular basis. Take Barry, he's on the call. He just sold one over the weekend. Barry and some of our other top producers like the Capital Ready package because the client has skin in the game from step one, and then Barry or whomever is working with us and bringing that client on is netting $1,250 right now, collecting $2,500, keeping half, submitting half to us. And that's not a bad gig. You start doing one of those a day. Now we're at 5,000 a week, 20,000 a month. So with that being said, you do not have to talk about Capital Ready package version 3.0 to anyone if you don't want to. But for those of you that are good sales professionals, that are good closers, and we're going to do a little bit of role playing here in a minute to help you pitch this properly, then this is going to be very attractive, because we know what you and I do is we help small businesses meet the credibility factors to be able to get funding. And one of the most common missing ingredients is a commercial address. We've talked recently that not all commercial addresses are the same, are they? Different commercial addresses will impact you differently. We had a recent training last week where we talked about the different corporate income tax rates in different states. So a smart entrepreneur would probably, in most cases, all other things being equal, choose to form their business or at least house it in a state in which that has no state income tax. Secondly, what we talked about last week is that your commercial address affects what types of capital you have access to. And when we set up clients with a commercial address, they're going to have access to the Chapman Fund, which is up to $250,000, which is a nice number. But more importantly, it's not a bank loan. Going to the bank and getting a bank loan has a lot more rigorous underwriting criteria that's more difficult for early stage small businesses to meet. Doesn't mean that they can't. And can a brand new startup get an SBA loan? Absolutely. And we've got examples of that. However, if we can go get at least the first round or one of the early rounds of funding, for instance, through the Chapman Fund, where we don't have to go through a bank, our approval rates skyrocket, because now you've got this tax supported source of funds that's there to help start and grow small businesses. And of course, they're not looking to make an unreasonable risk. We have to put together a loan package that makes sense. But the underwriting approval process is so much different. It's so much more advantageous to the applicant when we're going through a tax supported program than through a bank. So the commercial address provides two benefits that we've talked about before. It includes access to the Chapman Fund, and also it provides access to the workforce grant. We talked a little bit about the workforce grant last week. Again, it is a grant. It is free money. And I hate talking about free money because most things in life aren't free. But through the Texas Workforce Commission, we can get funding to cover 100% of the prevailing wages and taxes and benefits and workers' comp for employees if the address is within the taxing district. Okay, so that's a little bit more minutia than we needed to cover. So let's step back for a second. Access to capital continues to probably be the lead program for most of you. No upfront cost, guaranteed $100,000 capital raise, no risk. It's great. There's no personal credit score, no minimum time in business to qualify, no upfront cost. Now what we're doing is saying we have another arrow in the quiver with the capital ready. It's gone from 2.0 to 3.0. It does have an upfront cost. The total cost is the same because, again, it's a $2,500 refundable deposit, which is the same as here. It's just collected up front by you. You keep half, you submit half, and we've sweetened the pot, haven't we? We said, you know what? If you want to go ahead and submit the deposit up front and go through the Capital Ready 3.0, we'll incentivize you to do that by giving you a free commercial address if you want it. If you don't need it, don't want it, you don't have to use it. And then the free credit boost. So with that being said, let's see what questions that each of you have about the Capital Ready Package 3.0. And then I want to spend a few minutes kind of role playing and scripting with you. So let's take a look here. So Tony's got a great question. So on the Capital Ready 3.0 here, this is a deal that's closed in the field. So it's mainly offered by our incubator partners, but not exclusively. We've got Monique and Barry and several others of you that are offering this on a regular basis. No change to what you've been doing. We're just offering more perks. So those of you that have been leading with Capital Ready Package 2.0, you don't need to do anything different. You just need to know that we've sweetened the pot. Now, if you want to offer Capital Ready Package 3.0, it means that you in the field collect the $2,500, you submit half. And so that's the structure of that. If that is not preferable to you, and it's a perfect fit for our incubator partners. Some of you are not incubator partners and you can continue to do it. But if you don't want to be closing the deals and collecting the money, then focus on the access to capital. That's fine. Thank you, Tony, for that question. Deion's asking, so that's right. And I think he typed the question before I got too deep into the conversation. Absolutely. All the normal benefits of the commercial address that we offer is included in the Capital Ready Package 3.0, which includes access to the Chapman Fund. Because what's the prerequisite? You have to be in the taxing district. Well, the address is in the taxing district. The workforce grant is included as well. So great question, Deion. Deion's got 2 clients to submit today. That's great. That's great. So it'll be $2,500 net in your pocket. Perfect. Deion? Barry gives it a thumbs up. You're welcome, Tony. Okay, so Robert asked, 3.0 will include credit boost, right? And include the commercial address. So keep in mind, just to make sure we're not confused. And so when a client comes into the full incubator, that is different than this. When they come into the full incubator package, they're getting the business phone number and the website and the QuickBooks, and we're forming their business entity. That's a much broader package. So Robert and others, we don't want to confuse what happens when you roll into the incubator and get the full incubator package with what we're talking about here. So just to be clear. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how the sales process might go. What we strongly recommend is lead through education, and we've been talking about using the 27 mistakes presentation. You can teach it in person via webinar, or it's even available on demand at 27mistakes.org. That's a great way to build a big sales funnel. So you're out educating small businesses as well as key influencers and distribution partners about what does it take to become credible, to access business credit and business funding. And then afterwards, you have a consultation with them in person, telephonic, or Zoom. Essentially, you're going to do a needs analysis. Now, do they have to watch the 27 Mistakes presentation live or on demand to be able to have a consultation with you? No. And frankly, if all you're going to do is refer them into the access to capital, just funnel them into your landing page and we'll take it from there. Of course, the situation becomes a little bit different if you're closing the deal. And that's what the conversation today is going to be about. This is going to be recommended scripting and process if you're closing the deals, which is necessary for Capital Ready Package 3.0, not necessary for the others. All right. So whether you've educated them through 27 mistakes or not, you're going to want to do a needs analysis, and we'll kind of role play here, and Dion's on board. So I'll just pretend or role play with Dion. So let's say I have a conversation with Dion and say, Dion, how much capital are you looking for your business? So let's imagine you got a blank check in front of you, and you could write in any number into that blank check that you would like, that would give you the amount of capital that you need to feel confident that your business can reach its potential. What number would you write on that blank check, Dion? And so he's going to come back with some number. And whatever that number is, I'm not going to dispute or challenge. Hopefully it's a bigger number because it's a more powerful carrot, but he's going to name the number that is equivalent to what he'd like to write on his blank check, how much funding he'd like to have. So let's just say it's 250,000 just for a round number. And it's okay, great, Dion, 250,000, that's very reasonable. What would you primarily spend that money on? So if you had a blank check given to you, 250,000, where would that money go into your business? And so he may have thought it out, he may not. Just give Dion or your prospect a couple moments to respond. And again, we're not challenging them. We're not really even taking notes at this time because we have a formalized process of running them through the 4-week process, but we're getting them to start to envision, okay, if I had 250,000, then I could buy these things or spend money on this. And then the third question I'd have for Dion is, what would that mean to your business? How would that benefit your business if you had 250,000? And so I'm getting him to say in his words, well, wow, it could take stress off of me. I'd have the money to be able to reach my potential. I could pull a paycheck. I could pay off personal debt that I've incurred for my business, whatever Dion's why is. So we started by asking the how much money would you like, Dion, using the blank check analogy. I asked what would you use it for? And now I'm asking the why. Why would that be important to you? So you can imagine psychologically, it's very helpful to help your prospect work through those 3 steps and get them to articulate in writing, or I'm sorry, verbally in their own words, how much they want, what they would use it for, and why it would benefit them. Okay, so now we need to pivot the conversation and we need to start getting Dion prepared to understand how we're going to help Dion get that 250,000 or whatever he wrote on the pretend blank check. So let's resume the role play. Well, Dion, that's great. And that's exactly what we're here to do is we assist small businesses in getting the capital they need to reach their potential. We have a really unique and refined process. From the time that you enroll, we're going to need 4 weeks, 28 days. And during those 4 weeks, we're going to go through a curriculum. This is a curriculum that used to be taught at a college, used to be used by the SBA, but now we've packaged into a 4-week concise process to help you know what you need to know to get prepared for funding. But concurrently, we're going to build the loan package. We're going to put the materials together. And during that 4-week process, Dion, we're going to be checking credibility factors, figuring out which areas are your strengths, which are not so much, see if there's anything that needs to be done, or we might be ready to go to funding at the end of that 28-day period. But it's 4 weeks. Now, when we're doing that, we're building a loan package and we're putting together the personal financial statement, getting your collateral assignment put together. There's a fair amount of work. What we'll be doing is having a weekly 15-minute call with you as we're gathering this data to make sure you're satisfied, make sure your answers or questions are answered, and we're getting this loan package built. What we're going to do is collect a small deposit for building out that loan package, but the deposit is fully refundable. So we guarantee, Dion, at least 100,000 capital raise. And I know you said your blank check, you need 250,000. We don't know enough about your business yet to guarantee that amount, but we can guarantee you at least $100,000 capital raise. So it won't be a waste of your time, but you're going to submit a small deposit up front that offsets our cost of building that loan package. Just like if you went and rented an apartment, you'd have a deposit and then you get it back. Any questions so far, Dion? So now Dion's probably going to ask, what's his question going to be? Well, how much, right? How much? So the deposit, Dion, is $2,500, fully refundable, and that offsets our cost of building your loan package. There's several other perks that are included. And so, of course, you could highlight anything you want to. If Dion is looking at the flyer for the Capital Ready 3.0, that would help because your main talking points are over here on the right. And you notice I've already talked about the no risk, and I've already talked about the personalized support and the fact that we're building a loan package. And so then I just need to go ahead and hit a couple of these other points and then try to close Dion. So Dion, part of our Capital Ready 3.0 package includes access to unique funding sources. So some funding sources have specific requirements and we're able to help you get positioned for those. For example, the Chapman Fund. And chances are Dion's never heard of the Chapman Fund, which is fine. It's real, but he's never heard of it, which is because it's a geographical exclusive offering. So Dion, for example, we can use the Chapman Fund to get up to $250,000. And instead of going through a bank for that, it's a tax-supported business loan. Also, through the program, we're going to provide you a commercial address. Is your address, Dion, currently a residential address, a post office box, or a commercial address? Chances are 9 times out of 10, the prospect you're talking to does not have a true commercial address. If they have a commercial address, it's usually one of the shared addresses where it's like Suite 300, and they have that address along with a bunch of other small businesses. You and I know that's not that credible. And then, of course, there's the credit boost. So essentially, either Dion has the funds for the $2,500 deposit or he doesn't. If he doesn't, it doesn't matter how good the proposition is. He doesn't have the cash flow for it. Not a worry. Then you can drop down to the access to capital, get him plugged in right away, drop him into your landing page. We'll get the DocuSign out to him. He'll sign it, no upfront cost. If he has the 2,500 and he likes what you're saying about the Capital Ready Package 3.0, then you're going to go ahead and collect the 2,500 from him. You're going to keep half, submit half to us. You're going to forward us the client's name and email. That's really all we need. Very informal. Doesn't go through a landing page or anything else. Just email us their name and email, and then we'll send them the DocuSign for the Capital Ready 2.0, because it's or 3.0, because it's a different DocuSign for the Capital Ready 3.0 than it is Access to Capital. Access to Capital, they still have a $2,500 deposit, but we don't collect it now, so we have to talk about collecting it later. Of course, for the Capital Ready, you're collecting $2,500. Now, the really cool thing is, even though you're collecting $2,500 of a refundable deposit, and even though you're keeping half of it, you don't have to refund any of that back. When it comes time to refund that deposit, we do. You don't refund any part of that. Once the client's received at least $100,000 of capital raise, which is the grant requirement, that's what we're promising to deliver minimally to the client. It's what the client's minimally promising to work with us on. Then they get the $2,500 back. That comes out of our pocket. None of that is offset by you. Now, if you want to get creative, and I'm not a CPA or a tax advisor, but for Barry and Monique and those of you that are our top performers in this area, keep in consideration how you code in your QuickBooks can eliminate your tax responsibility, because deposits are normally not taxable. So let's say we went to an apartment complex, we leased an apartment, put $1,000 deposit down. Is that earned income to the apartment? No, it's frankly a liability. It's money that they have to set aside, at least on paper, to pay back. Do they have to pay income taxes on that $1,000 deposit at the apartment complex? No. So if you're collecting $2,500, of course, you're keeping half and sending half to us, but do you have to pay income tax on that deposit you've collected? Talk to your CPA, but I think what your CPA will say is, no, that is not earned income. So it's kind of interesting. It's very rare to be able to come up with tax-free income, and your CPA might agree with this hint that collecting deposits is tax-free income. Okay, so I mean, that's pretty much it. If you're comfortable with what you're doing now with the no upfront cost, I wouldn't change a thing. If you're like Barry, Monique, Dion, and others that are good closers and want to close now, you've got more ammo. You've got another 2 arrows in your quiver of why someone should go ahead and submit the deposit up front. If you're in a third group where you're just not sure, then you can try it. And you can start them with this. And if they don't bite, you can always drop back. Now, again, they'll still get the $100,000 capital raise. They're still going to go through the 4-week curriculum. They'll still have a performance fee. I didn't mention that, but the performance fee is the same on both. But what they're not having to do is come up with any upfront money on access to capital, where they do pay the deposit. Last thing, and then I'll open it up. And I think this is what Mark's thinking. I think it was Mark that emailed me over the weekend. He's like, well, what if I don't want to collect the full $2,500 from the client? What if I want to give the client a discount? Fine, give the client a discount. Instead of collecting the $2,500, it's coming out of your pocket instead of ours, right? Because you know you're going to send $1,250 into us. But if you want to give them a prompt pay discount, $100 off, $250 off, something to get them to take action now, you have the freedom to do it. It just reduces your profit, of course. I forget if it was Mark or Robert or who had asked, what if I just want to net it out to the client and just collect $1,250 from the client? That's fine. It's a loophole, frankly. So you will have eliminated any upfront income that you will have received, but the agreement is still written the same to the client. They're still getting $2,500 back once they've hit a $100,000 capital raise, even if you've discounted that up front. Now, again, you got to collect at least $1,250 for our half of the $2,500. But it's interesting. You could literally pay the client to enroll. And that's quote unquote, I guess, right? So let's say that you give them a $250 discount if they go ahead and enroll today. They will still get $2,500 back, because that's the full refundable deposit. That's how the agreement's set up. So even though they've only paid $2,250 in, they will get $2,500 back. It's a loophole, but you could take advantage of that if you want. But again, it's minimizing your income, because that's coming off your half. We're still getting our $1,250. Robert's asking about the credit boost. So again, no, the credit boost is included for free. That's why it's called free. That's why I'm saying it's an extra benefit. In the Capital Ready 3.0, which is what we're talking about here, right? The credit boost is included, and they don't have to pay anything for it. That's why it's called free. And they get the commercial address, Robert, for no charge. That's why it's called free. Thank you for that question, Robert. Dion asked, if I offer the 3.0 in Sunoco, can I pivot to the 2.0? Well, that makes no sense to me, Dion, because the only differences between 2.0 and 3.0 is we're giving them more free things. Their $2,500 deposit is the same. So it makes no sense to me to charge the same amount from them and give them less value. So I don't understand that, Dion. I apologize. But no, we're not enrolling any new clients in 2.0, only in 3.0, or of course the normal access to capital. Okay. And so great point, Dion. Yeah, so all capital raised has a performance fee, and it's the same on the access to capital or capital ready. So they're going to have a performance fee in either case. And we're going to split that performance fee 50-50 with you, our incubator partner. So that is not a point of differentiation. That's off of the capital raise, whether it be through the Chapman Fund, through an SBA loan, through a line of credit. It doesn't matter. That is the same. That is not a point of differentiation. And that again includes the Chapman Fund. It really has no reference on the workforce grant, because if we're getting them tax dollars to pay for an employee or employees of theirs, that's not really a capital raise. That's just a pure perk to them. So that is, there's no performance fee attached to that. Okay, so who else has any questions regarding, and Monique, yes, I'll get that to you. Who else has any questions on what we've talked about today? Don't let it confuse you. Oh, performance fee is 6%, Anthony, and that's the same. And the 6% is very easy to sell, and it states it right here, right? You see it, 6%. That's a very reasonable performance fee. And the analogy I use is it's just like a real estate transaction. Have you ever bought or sold a home? Did you notice at closing, there's a 6% fee that goes to pay the realtors? Well, when we help you raise capital, there's 6%. And that is based upon the performance fee, the amount of the capital raise, whether it happens in one tranche or multiple tranches. Monique, I think you're right. We used to have the capital ready at 9.5. What we found though, Monique and others, is 6% is just a really palatable point. And again, like the real estate analogy I was using. So capital ready 3.0, as well as access to capital, is 6%. And we split that 50-50 with our joint venture incubator partners. And so, yeah, we do 10 a.m. calls, webinars for clients, and you'll find the link on that on the IIMFL website under the Small Business Certification tab, Dion. And that's where we can help you close deals. Okay, and that's asking questions. So again, I meant to clarify it, but I probably wasn't clear enough. Today, December 7th, 2020, we will not enroll anyone else into the 2.0, and everyone today going forward that enrolls in Capital Ready will be in 3.0. We don't go back because it would be very convoluted. It'd be convoluted. So as of today, any clients that enroll, how do we know if they enrolled today or after? Because they give you $2,500, right? That's the trigger. They're literally giving you or paying you $2,500. You keep half, you submit half to us, send us an email, name and email. It can be that basic. Monique sends us much more, which is fine, but we need at least their name and their email. Let us know that they've paid, and then we will implement. And what's going to happen is we'll send them the DocuSign. We will acknowledge that they've paid their refundable deposit, and we will send them the DocuSign so we can get them set up and going. And then once they execute, and we'll copy you on it, so you'll be copied. So once they execute the Capital Ready package 3.0, you'll get an executed copy of it, and then we'll continue with the onboarding. All right, well, we covered some good information, but again, if it's too much for you, some of you are not going to be well suited at all to pitch Capital Ready 3.0, and that's okay. You still need to know it exists, but some of you are very skilled sales professionals. You see the value proposition and you want money in your pocket up front. What do we know is if you start doing this and start putting $2,500 at a time into your business bank account, now all of a sudden your business is stronger financially. Now your business has more access to capital because you're generating more cash flow. You got better bank ratings. Your financial statements look better. So it's very advantageous if you have sales skills to offer 3.0. But if you're not a very good salesperson, it's okay. Then just lead with the no upfront cost, and we'll go from there. All right. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you soon. Have a good day. Let us know if you have any questions. Bye.